It's still the truth. Go on. Oh, that's it on that. You go back to Isaiah 14 and 15. And because they don't want to change up to the word of the Lord, they're going to die, man.
That's right.
They're going to die. That's what's going to happen to them.
Isaiah 14, Isaiah 9.
Isaiah 14. Oh, you put it on this. Isaiah 9 and 6. Go on. So we're going to go all the way back to the topic at hand on how the real government is being set up of the Lord. They all, like I said, it begins with the Apostle Great Millstone and all the way down to us younger men. We're setting up the true government of the next world to come. Right? Because this current government is up and at 'em and floating around and doing what they got to do, but it's only but for a temporary moment in time. And this society is degrading itself while our society is on the come up. Okay, and this is what we should be looking forward to. Not no damn nasty women out here, man. They done had so many penises up there behind. All right, what we should be looking towards is getting the hell out of here and pretty much praying that Yahawashi brings his kingdom here, man.
Right.
Because there ain't nothing in this world. Go on, brother. And you'll find it out the more you get into the street. You'll find that there ain't shit out here.
That's right.
That can amuse you anymore. Go on, brother.
Back to Isaiah 9 and I start from 6 again, and it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder."
Right, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, which is referring to the whole house of David, which we are, as we potentially believe that we are. Okay, we don't know that for a fact, but we believe that we are the house of David. Right? So keep going.
And it says, "And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
Right, so that's a whole other title right there of Yahawashi. Yahawashi had many titles, but we call him Yahawashi because that's his real name. That's his actual name that he wants us to call him. Go on.
And it says, verse 7, "Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end.
Right.
Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment."
Right, and to establish it with judgment. What kind of judgments are we going to set? The judgments that are written, they're in the commandments. So let's keep going.
And it says, "And with justice and with justice from henceforth, even forever, the zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this."
So in other words, the Lord is zealous to perform this. Now give me 1 Corinthians 15:24. Because what Yahawashi is going to be allowed to do, which is the zeal of the Heavenly Father, is for Yahawashi to restore the kingdom unto his Father. And we're just about to reach that point. And see, this is the thing. When you know this Bible to a T-bone, you understand the agenda of the Lord. Unlike these Christians out there that don't understand anything when it concerns the Heavenly Father. Like you got vocab baloney alone in his madness and his crew talking all kind of nonsense against us, man, and trying to back that nonsense up when it cannot be backed up. Like the whole idea of the whole race of Edom was destroyed. Now if that was the case, we would all remember that scenario to this very day, because for one race to be eradicated, that's a big thing. That's not some, thing where you just, you think about and then it's just like that. No. People are going to be reminded of this event that happened, if that was the case. But we know it's not the case because you cannot find any other information on that. All right? Go on, brother.
1 Corinthians 15 and 24, and it says, "Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power."
And that's exactly what we're looking forward to. We're looking to be kings along with Yahawashi. We're looking for Yahawashi to set up the kingdom of heaven. Like I said, we're not looking towards anything that this world has to offer. Right? Because this world, like I said, is tainted, and it's a defiled society that we're living in. All right, now if you're a brother, you want to get a woman, hey, do what you got to do, man. If you're burning, do what you got to do. You understand what I'm saying? But these women ain't no big deal, and they're all demons anyway.
That's right.
All Right, a lot of them are demons, and the reason why I can say that they're demons is a lot of them got so many spirits up there behind that it's not even funny. All right, and you gotta deal with that baggage.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with virgins out here. So in other words, overall, there's just nothing here. So we gotta focus on this right here. And not even that, not only just that, but I also want to say this as well. We have absolutely no power here. We have no say here.
Yeah.
So why should we be focusing in on this right here? This has nothing to do with us. This society has nothing to do with the children of Israel.
That's right.
So what we should be pinpointing and focusing on is the coming kingdom. Now I want you to read that again, brother. Baba Kushan.
And it says, 1 Corinthians 15 and 24, it says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High.
Right, and that's what we're looking for as well. We're looking for the end of this place and the incoming of our kingdom,
Right.
our society, our empire, which is going to be an everlasting kingdom,
Right.
a beautiful kingdom, flowing with milk and honey. Okay, and I mean that metaphorically. I don't mean that literally. I mean that metaphorically. Okay, we're going to be abundant in cattle. We're going to be abundant in all manner of natural resources, the gemstones, gold, silver, bronze, tungsten, all of these different resources that can make us rich. We're going to have access to all of the elements of the earth. So that's exactly what we look forward to. That's what we look forward to. We look forward to being a part of the governing body. Okay, we're governors now. You got to be thinking on a higher level now. All right? So continue on, brother.
This is John 18 and 36, and it says,
I tell you what, brother, put that down, get your scriptures out back, because I need 2 readers. Because I want to have them jump all over the place. But yeah, keep going, brother.
and it says, Yahawashi answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world,
Right.
then would my servants fight.
Right, we will be fighting already to set up the kingdom. Because before the kingdom is set up, we have to fight. We have to beat the nations down. But how are we going to do that? Being that we're so weak right now. So we have to be given the spiritual power to do that. Pursuant to Jeremiah 51, verse 9. Alright, but we're not going to get that. We're just going to wait. We'll get there later on. So that's what's going to be the case, man. Yeah, read that again.
And it says, John 18 and 36, and it says, Yahawashi answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence.
Exactly. In other words, the kingdom is not there yet. So what we got to do is we got to survive. We got to do our time here. Because this ain't nothing but a prison house that we're under. We're doing time because of what we did to our Heavenly Father. Disregarded him and his laws and everything. So now this is why we're in a lower condition as a people. This is why there's criminality going. This is why we're killing each other. You got the ones about people selling drugs to one another. All of these different things. And you got our people, they've been so used to doing that, now they take pride in doing it. They pick up themselves for doing it. So that's how you know that things need to change, man. Things need to change. The way that things are right now, it's not the way it's supposed to be. Alright, this is not a perfect world. We're looking for a perfect world, man.
Right.
Alright, this is what you call a world of shit. Okay, this is a shitty ass world that we live in. Everything is shit out here. And I don't say that because I'm miserable, but I say that because of fact, man. Even the air is full of shit too. Come on, man. Go on, brother.
It's 2 Peter 3 and 14 and 13, and it says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise.
Right, it says, nevertheless, we according to his promise. We look towards that promise. We according to his promise. Go on.
Look for new heavens and a new earth.
And that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a new heavens and a new earth. Now is that literally referring to an actual brand new planet? No. Let's tap into our spiritual common sense. No, this is talking about the earth being refreshed again. So that's the kind of world or earth we want to be under. We want to be able to rule an earth that is pure. Because right now, the way that this earth is running, it's flipped upside down. And it's not the way it's supposed to be. The way that this world is, and the way that these dumb people are, it's not the way it's supposed to be. So So this is why it's very well evident if you're spiritually aware and inclined of what's going on. You can clearly see that it's definitive that we're going to experience the second coming of who the world called Jesus Christ.
Right.
So that he can set everything back in order again. All right? Because everything is way out of order, way out of touch. Go on, brother.
And he says, look for a new heaven and a new earth.
You got to read a lot of than that, brother.
Wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Right, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So we look towards a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. This ain't it. Like I said, this is the world of shit, all right? Like, for example, the air that we're breathing, I always say, it's polluted, okay? The people that you talk to on a day-to-day basis, they're a bunch of degenerates. Just being factual here, all right? And then you also have around you, or things that you don't see around you happen that is ill and wicked. Like pedophilia going on, okay? And I could be here all day naming the wickedness that's going on this planet more than righteousness. So that shows you right there that things have to change, man. Things have to change.
That's right.
Okay? Because things are so messed up here. It's jacked. And the reason why the world is so jacked up because you got the powers that be, they don't know what the hell they're doing, and what they're doing is they're trying to act like the Most High, man. But they're failing miserable. Because they're not keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, man. When you don't keep these laws, this is what happens. You wind up with a pile of crap. That's what happens. Okay? Anyway, brother. Yeah, read what you got, man. You got something?
That's Iraq at 10 and 8, and it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit,
right,
the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right, because the way that the society was set up by crime, it was set up by shedding blood. And it's so bad now that the animals are dying. And therefore, if certain animals are dying, then what does that do to the ecosystem? That fucks it up. So like I said, this is why a change has to come. Because everything's getting more shitty now. It's getting more shitty than ever before. Now you may think, oh, I'm being negative or I'm being a grump. Well, I'll be real, I am a grump. But look at the state of the earth. That means I'm in my right state of mind. Go on, brother. Alright, man. Yes, so go back to what you had before. Give me Isaiah 9 and 6 and then go give me Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. You had some, right? Alright. So that's just the thing, man. But it's alright though. I mean, technically I can't get too angry about it because everything that's happening now, it was preordained to happen so that the Lord can show his majesty and his power on how he can restore everything back together again. And that's what the Lord is going to do. He's going to show his power and his majesty. And this is why it's definitive, you know, through us on how we see that there will be a second coming of the Lord. According to the scriptures going on. You know? You read me Isaiah 9 and 6 and then go get me Daniel 2 and 44. Go on.
Back to Isaiah 9 and 7, and it says,
Yeah, 9 and 7, yeah.
of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom,
right,
to order it and to establish it with judgment.
Right, and to establish his kingdom with judgment. Now the house of David is over here. We're the house of David. The brothers that you see with the Bibles in their hands with the weird looking garments on and everything, we're that house of David. Okay, so it's gradually building up through a process. And then when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we'll be those same figureheads that will be setting up the same judgments that's reading to you right now. And therefore we're going to govern the people with those same judgments. Therefore the earth is going to be at peace and in order. But when you have a bunch of scientists coming up with their nonsense, because they're set up agents to lie to the people, okay, and pretty much manipulating the food, this is what you get. You get people that are sick with cancer, and you get people that will destroy themselves because the powers that be, they don't know what the frick they're doing. Alright, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Let me just put it that way. Alright, they have not a clue. All they can do is pump themselves and flatter themselves and act more prideful, but they don't know shit. We got what it takes. If we were to run this earth, everything would be beautiful. everything will be spotless because we have the true manuscript. The true manuscript is the scriptures. So you're not going by this manuscript, you're gonna frig up the earth. Alright, anyway, brother, we don't.
That's
Sirach 10. Yeah, brother, hold what you got. Let him read this real quick.
This is Genesis 49, verse 10.
Right.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, until he shall be the gathering of the people.
Right, until he be the gathering of the people. So Yahawashi is going to gather the elect that are scattered abroad out of all of the countries they were put to shame in, pursuant to Jeremiah 14, I believe it is. Right? And those same men are going to set up the standard of the next world. No Rastafari. See, he's bugged out his mind. Yeah, keep reading. Keep up. That's a bugged out dude.
Oh, yours, one that was reading.
Huh?
Finished.
Yeah, he's finished with that.
It's at Sirach 10 and 4, and it says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Right, so in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And the people that are profitable to rule the earth is those that have the manuscript. Those that were given the manuscript. Pursuant to what is it? Psalms 147. Give me Psalms 147, brother. Verse 19. So they will be the ones. They will be the ones that will be profitable. They will bring fruit unto the earth, springing up life, invigoration unto the earth, because they have the commandments and the word of life. And these devils that are in power, these wicked, sadistic devils that are in power, they have no light but darkness, and they got the nerve to call themselves the Illuminati, which the word Illuminati means to be illuminated, or to be enlightened. And that's why you got these Negroes out here that claim they know something, they get mad at us, declaring ourselves as the Illuminati. Like I said, when we look at the word, the definition of the word, it means to be illuminated or enlightened. How could one be enlightened into doing works of darkness, works of death like sorcery, witchcraft, pedophilia? That's works of death and darkness. That's what that is. How could you call yourself illuminated? So they're not illuminated. They're into darkness. Go on, brother.
Psalms 147, verse 19. He sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right, he have not dealt so with any nation. Go on.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
They have not known them, man. And these judgments and these commandments that are given unto us is the light of the world. Alright, bro, yeah, what you got?
So Matthew 5 and 14. See, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill.
It says that we are the light of the world. I'm so glad you brought it out. That's the spirit. We are the light of the world. As a matter of fact, read the whole thing. That's not it.
I think there's a bit more to it. Even do men light a candle and put it under a bushel,
Right.
but on a candlestick, and giveth light unto all that are in the house.
Okay.
Let your light shine so let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
Exactly, man. So we're putting this light before all. We're publicating it on the YouTube. Any form of social media outlet we can use, we're publicating it. Alright? We don't have this knowledge and we're just sitting on it. No. We're putting it before all. So that all can see and all can, and certain people can repent. And certain people can be condemned. Alright, you finished with that?
Yeah.
Ezekiel 3 and 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel.
And that's one of the commandments given by the prophet Ezekiel, and also this applies to us too. So when we go out and preach this gospel, we're here to preach unto these people here, to gather them back to the faith, and that they be reconciled with the Heavenly Father ultimately. Okay? And is everybody going to get this? No. Only the elect is going to come and get this. Which what the Lord is doing right now is He's establishing the remnant or the elect, which are those are going to be the what you call the next government that's going to be set up in the kingdom of heaven. Those are the men who He has set up first. Now, is He dealing with the majority of Israel? No. The majority of Israel, they're just going to be destroyed and they're going to be disintegrated back to the earth which they came. by those nuclear missiles when they drop and hit ground zero and where they're supposed to land. Okay? That's their judgment, man. And if that's not the case, they're gonna die in famines as well. Because this world is gonna experience a famine like never seen before. Yeah? I don't care how high tech we are in the age that we're in, this society can be shut down too. Anyway, brother, what you got?
This is John 8:47, and it says, He that is of the Most High heareth the Most High's words.
Okay.
Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of the Most High.
Right, you hear them not because you are not of the Most High. You got a lot of jakes that won't hear the word of the Most High because they're not of the Lord. So this is why I say the Lord is dealing with the governing body, the first fruits of all of them. Because they're going to set the trend on the earth. So it makes all the sense in the world anyway. Okay? And then ultimately, those that didn't get it on this side, they're going to get it on the next go around. Alright? That's how it's going to go down. So I want you to read that again because I want to say something else. Sometimes you got to read it twice.
Yeah, John
or
8,
read it 3 times. Go on, bro.
and 47, and it says, He that is of the Most High heareth the words,
Right,
heareth the
says
Most High's words.
Right, says that he that is of the Most High heareth his words. As there's another verse we can go and get where it mentions on how this sheep hears his voice. You can go and get that. So if you recognize what we're saying,
John 10.
like you've had it before, then you're part of the elect, most likely. And then you will come in and be reconciled and be cleansed from this defiled world. It's like I said, this world is a pile of shit.
That's right.
All right? I have to make that quite clear. And I'm going to say it again, this world is a pile of shit. So when you come out of this shitty ass world and you come into the truth, now you're a cleansed man. You're renewed as it's supposed to be. Because you got this one character, man, he was calling himself to be the truth. But then he went all the way back to being a homo, man. So he was never really in the faith to begin with. Alright? Now you got brothers that go off and do certain things or whatever. But to go on back and do that kind of sin right there, to do that kind of workings right there after you just came in, you can't be in the truth like that. Okay, anyway, I'm done talking. You gonna let the scriptures talk now. You finished with that? Okay. Alright, yeah, give me that.
John chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep hear my voice,
Right.
and I know them.
Exactly.
And
That's
they
the one I
follow me.
wanted. That's the one I wanted. It says, the sheep hear my voice and they follow after me. Give me that in John 14, brother. You know what I want. Okay? They follow after him. So when they recognize the sayings of this book coming from those men, they now take heed. Because they recognize that voice and they know, okay, this is the right way to go. This is why it also says in Malachi, the 4th chapter, that he will set up a man in this coming day and age, Elijah the prophet, which is supposed to come, and he will turn the sons to the heads of their fathers' fathers. I'm roughly paraphrasing it, but that's what he would do. And we all know who that man is, but like I said, I'm not going to put that out on the camera like that. Because you got a lot of simpletons that will take what I say or take what certain brothers say and say that we're talking nonsense. Okay, so that's for you to figure that out, who that may be. Okay, yeah, so yeah, read what you got.
John 14, verse,
I'm in Revelations 14.
Revelation
It
chapter
talks about, it says they follow the Lamb ready, so we go. Follow the Lamb. They follow the Lamb where he go. You know, the scripture where it talks about it, in Revelation 14 it says, they follow the Lamb where so he goes. That might be, I think that might be in, I don't think so, but it could be in Revelation 11. Let me see something. Yeah, your call gonna make it to captivate. But I got it, brother. I'm looking it up on my phone. It's all right. I think we'll read John 10 one more time.
Back in John chapter 10,
Oh, it's 14 and 4. Revelation 14 and 4.
it's the book of Revelations chapter 14, verse 4. These are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
Now, is that literal? That's not literal. The strange woman, or should I say the woman that is talking about here, or they that was virgins, because they didn't give heed. They didn't give heed unto women. Metaphorically, what that's talking about is these strange other doctrines out there. Because Solomon likens wisdoms or knowledges, different knowledges unto women. So we didn't take heed unto these strange women. In other words, we didn't get involved in Islam. We didn't get involved in Christianity and merge it into the truth. We put all of that aside and we become new men. So spiritually, we are virgins now. Okay? Not literally. Because if that was the case, we would all be down. We wouldn't make it. Give me what you got, brother.
And it says, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth.
Why is that? Because they recognize that voice. Now, we'll go back to John chapter 10, verse 27.
It's the book of John, chapter 10, verse 27. And it says, my sheep hear my voice.
Right, it says, my sheep hear my voice. Go on.
And I know them, and they follow me.
And they know him, and they follow after him. If you keep hitting it, brother, it's going to sting you. You got to just let it fly, you know? Go on, bro.
And it says, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Exactly. So the eternal life is referring to this doctrine in this truth, which we use it to guide the masses of our people and also the other nations. Oh, what you got? Give me Isaiah chapter 2 now. Chapter 2, verse 4. It's like I said, the way the world is being situated and governed right now, it's all the wrong way. Everything's wrong right now. Every single thing about this world is wrong. Everything. May sound like I'm exaggerating, but like I said, when you see what we see, it's quite clear that everything's wrong. It's all wrong. And this is why things have to change, and we have to set the tone now.
Right.
Go on, brother. What you got?
It's Isaiah 2, Isaiah 24. No more war. No more war.
No. I'll tell you what, stop from, let me see. The word should go forth out of Zion. Read verse
Isaiah 2 and 2, and it says, 2 and 1, and it says, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established.
Right, it says that in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be exalted. Go on.
Shall be established in the top of the mountains,
Yeah.
and shall be exalted above the hills.
So what is the hills and the mountains talking about?
Governing body of Yahawashi.
Huh?
Is it the governing body of Israel?
Well, read it again.
And it says that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right, so what is the top of the mountains talking about? No, brother, you know that.
He gave it away.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, read it again.
And it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
On the top of the mountains. What is the top of the mountains talking about? Nope. Actually, you're right. It is governments. But the governments of who? Nope. The other nations. Let's read it one more time.
And it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right, of the top of the mountains. In other words, the top of all of these different governments. And that's how it's going to be. And the way that the Lord is going to do that, because see what you're going to have, and when the kingdom of heaven is set up. Now, first, when the kingdom is going through its process, we're going to be knocking these nations out of their position, their current position, and they're going to serve slavery for 1,000 years.
Right.
Right, and they're going to build us up. They're going to make us look good, make us look pretty, and everything else. Once they've done that, then we'll give them their portion back, and they can have their own government. All right, but guess what? We're going to be ruling over their government. That's what this is talking about. Because right now, if you look at the nation of Israel, we're at the bottom now. We're at the bottom of the totem pole of this economy. But when the Lord sets our economy up, we're going to be the governments of the entire earth. We're going to be the supremistic ones. For example, you have the whole crew of Edomite supremacy, right? It's going to be Israelite supremacy.
Right.
Go on, brother.
And it says, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
And we're going to prove that the hills is talking about the other nations. Give me that in Psalm 68, verse 29.
Psalm 68, verse 29, and it reads, because of thy temple at Jerusalem shall kings bring presents unto thee.
Okay.
Rebuke the company of the spearmen.
And that's going to happen. That's he's referring to Isaiah 60 as well.
The multitude of the bulls with the calves of the people, to everyone submit himself with pieces of silver.
Okay.
Scatter thou the people that delight in war.
Right, exactly. But I mean, that's not really the one I wanted. I wanted the one where it talks about why he moved nine hills. Give me that one. Because the hills, read that verse one more time. This is all metaphoric, it's not literal.
It says, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house
So
of
it's
the power of
it's
Jacob.
already telling you right there what's going to happen. Because the lower hills that are going to be below the actual mountain, which is the Mount Zion, it's talking about all of them other nations. Those other nations now, whether you were talking about the so-called Japanese, the so-called Chinese, the so-called East Indians, the so-called Arabs, which they have their biblical names, but let's just say everybody, right? All of these other nations outside of the nation of Israel, they're going to be below us. Because that's all a part of the covenant, going all the way back to Abraham. Okay? And then the blessing that Jacob got. Go on.
And it says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go to the mountain of the Lord.
And you know what this proves too? I always like to say this. This proves that those people in Israel today, they are not the real Jews. Because if they were the real Jews, you would have people going to Israel right now to try to follow the commandments. But that's not happening right now. People hate their guts. A lot of these other nations hate them. So why would they go down there in the first place if they hate their guts? It doesn't make any sense. Go on.
And it says, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
And that's not happening right now. You have in the main city of Israel today, it's in Tel Aviv, called Pink City. You know, we sure should know what Pink City is all about. It's all about a bunch of fruitcakes playing around the place and committing sodomy. If they were the true people of the Lord, that would not exist. Okay? All of these different things that they got going on in the land of Israel today would not exist if this was talking about them. So we know based on that evidence, that prophecy, that can't be them. And we're just going to further prove itself. Go on, brother.
Verse 4, and it says, and they shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war